Good morning. Welcome to my backyard here in Kongsberg, Norway. My name's Michelle and this is my channel, Spinnekroken. If you're new to me, I have a home-based yarn shop. It used to be a brick and mortar and an online shop. However, about a year and a half ago, I moved everything home and have the online shop and a room in my house which I call my store. And if you want to come and shop in person, you can do that if you make an appointment. And you're probably gonna see the family dog Kira, and there she is, wandering around here. I hope that's okay. She enjoys the weather outside. The door is open so she can go in and out as she wants. If somebody passes by that she has to talk to and makes a lot of barking or something, then I'll have to stop and just take a little break until she calms down again. Today is July 1st, 2026. Happy Canada Day to all of my fellow Canadians. Oops. My fiber got caught up on the back of my whirl here. There we go. It'll teach me not to lay it on top of my wheel like that. Anyways, back to Canada Day. Happy Canada Day. You may or may not know that I was born and raised in Canada and came to Norway to live in 1983. So I'm a dual citizen and I get to enjoy the best of both countries. Lucky me. You may have noticed that I'm sitting here spinning. I thought I could do that while we're chatting. I hope that's okay. I'm spinning on some fiber that I got from Hedgehog Fibers. I believe they're based in Ireland. It's beautiful fiber. I ordered a club, a 3-month club a while back, and this is the third of the 3-month colorways that they dyed and the blend that they made. The first 2 are finished, so I'll show you later during the spinning section. And I'll talk a little bit more about this fiber and stuff then. I'm spinning this on my Susie Professional double treadle spinning wheel from Major Craft in New Zealand. My wheel is probably getting closer to 20 years old. I used to be the retailer here in Norway for Major Craft. It was way back in the early 2000s, I guess. I'm no longer the retailer. I believe Spinnekroken is the retailer here in Norway. I love this wheel. It can do anything. Do you spin? Are you here for the knitting? Are you here for the knitting and the spinning? Well, let's start the traditional way and I'll tell you what I'm wearing. I am wearing the plain Yoke 20T, I believe, by Lena Holme Samsø. Just check. Yep, plain Yoke 20. And I knit this in Cygnus Shawl in the colorway 5811 Arctic Ice. And I'm just referencing my Ravelry page so that I can get the details approximately right. I knit the size 3 and I like the fit. It's exactly what it's called. It's plain. It's a round yoke and rolled hems. So far the yarn seems to be very nice to wear. I'm just wearing it with shorts. I can check which needle size I used. 3mm, 3.5mm, and 4mm. So 4 would be for the main body, and 3.5 and 3 for the. There's a few rows of ribbing before that. No, there's not actually. It's just a rolled edge. And the color as well. I like it because it's not a tight fitting t-shirt, and it doesn't look sloppy either. So it's comfortable, airy. I'm hoping to get lots of wear out of it. So that's what I'm wearing. I've got quite a bit to show you this time. It's really not that long since my last episode, probably a little over a month or something like that. But I've been doing lots of knitting. I am doing lots of knitting and lots of spinning and planning lots of spinning. So why don't we go to the first finished object, and I'm not going to put that on top of my wheel. I've got them hanging behind me here. This is the mango tee, a really boxy, lightweight, striped t-shirt. It is knit in the Cygnus Shawl tin linen, so it's the same consistency as this one, but this is much thinner. So this is a fingering weight, and this is probably a DK or worsted. This was lots of fun to knit. You have the, I don't know if you can see it, but I'll try and show you. There's the contiguous shoulder seam. I believe it's called the contiguous. So you start at the top, or at the neckline, and you increase out, and then you knit straight down when you've increased out to the size you're supposed to achieve. And what you do is to determine your size as you measure where you want your sleeve to stop on your arm, because it's a drop sleeve in a way. And you knit the length that you want, and then you pick up and just knit the ribbing. That's your whole sleeve. And it's really, really comfortable to wear. The pattern is by Beth McDonald Stone, and I believe it's called the Mango Tee. the mango tee. It is knit on 3.5mm needles. I also made the size 3 for that one. And I used 4. I didn't use as much yarn as expected. The main color, the blue color, I bought way too much yarn. So I used 3 50-gram balls of that in the color 6032. I think it's called an Arctic blue or ice blue or something as well. And the stripes are color 2331 light beige, and I only used 1 ball of that. It's 220 meters to 50 grams. So I had lots left over. I can show you a picture of me wearing it if you see if I can show you that. Really comfy. I'll definitely knit the pattern again because it's such a relaxed fit and very well written pattern, just like everything else I've knit from Beth McDonald-Stone. I've actually got a couple of things this time to show you from her. So yeah, definitely recommend both the pattern and the yarn. And moving on to the next one. Here's the rest of the light blue Sandsgarn Tinline that I didn't use for the mango tee. This is Show Your Colors Tea by Sari Nordlund. And like I said, I used the rest of the Tinline light blue. And I had some knitting for olive pure silk in a dusty blue color. That's what I used for the stripes. This is also a top-down construction. Instead of ribbing, there's a folded sewn hem and cuff. And I didn't have enough of the light blue to do the cuffs on the sleeves, so I used the rest of the beige that I had left. Perfect way to use up leftovers. And I believe that Sari is running a knit-along for this pattern. I'm not sure when it ends, but if you want to check it out, then go ahead. It's a very, very nice raglan construction, top down, engaging with the stripes. And I mean, you can do multicolored stripes, you could do wider stripes, endless possibilities. So definitely a winner. I will be knitting this one again as well. Now for something completely different. I wanted a lacy cardigan that I could wear like over summer dresses, or you know, just to dress things up a bit if I'm wearing a strapless dress or a strap dress, like a summer dress, and I don't want to go completely bare. And instead of wearing a shawl, which I usually do, I thought maybe a nice little jacket would be nice. And I had this yarn here, It's hand spun 2-ply. It's I believe it's merino with silk. The speckles are silk, and the fiber is merino. It was dyed by Solveig, who runs Ulveig. She does a lot of really beautiful dyeing. So, and this was a bat that she had carded, and I spun it from that. I believe I spun this on my electric eel wheel 6.1. Yeah. And this yarn, the lace, is 2-ply alpaca, which I've processed and spun. It's my own alpaca wool that I received last year. This was so much fun to knit. It's called Reagan. It's by Isabel Kramer. I love all of her patterns, and it's such an interesting construction. I'm not sure if I can see whether it was this side or this side. Yep, here. You actually cast on here. You knit flat this piece, and then you join and knit the sleeve in the round. And when you cast on, you do it with a provisional cast on, so that you go back afterwards and you pick up all of the stitches here, and then you knit the other sleeve. Isn't that great? I've never done anything quite like that. And then when you're finished doing that, you pick up stitches all the way around the entire thing like that, and you knit the lace back and forth, or knit the lace flat until you reach your desired length. And then you've got a section of stockinette, and then an I-cord around all of the edges. I chose to do the I-cord edging in this yarn just to kind of bring everything together. Isn't that pretty? I'm looking forward to being able to wear this. Nice and soft. It will be a little bit warmer than I had originally kind of planned, but that's okay. It's a loose, lacy pattern, so I'm sure it's going to be airy enough to wear. What do you think? Have you knit this? Did you enjoy the construction? Oh, lots of fun. Now, Beth McDonald Stone has designed several bandana patterns, and I was so excited about those. It just looked like so much fun. They're done in mosaic knitting, which means you're knitting with 2 colors, but you only knit 1 color at a time. So you knit flat, in this case. So you knit the 1 color across, and then you pull your needle through, and then you knit the other color across, which is very engaging. It's lots of fun. So, what was this one called? Do-si Do, bandana number 1. Isn't that pretty? it was so much fun to knit. This is the back side. So, I mean, it's obviously not as pretty, but there's no floats or anything. So I'm so looking forward to being able to wear this. It's a little too hot right now, but boy, if it wasn't, I would be wearing it. You can do it, you know, the traditional style like this. Get my hair out without removing my headphones. I put them on today because I'm outside, so isn't that cute? And it's so squishy and so much fun. I was watching her podcast and she was mentioned that a couple of knitters had commented that they've knit up the bandana pattern and used it for a place like a runner on their table. I mean, you could. Doesn't have to be a woolen bandana that you wear around your neck. You could also definitely wear it the other way around, the traditional style. You could also put a ring around the ends. Perfect. And a great little project to take with you. I mean, during the summer, it's kind of usually too hot around here, at least, to sit with a great big woolen sweater in your lap while you're knitting. So, nice little bandana project. And this is hand spun yarn. The dark purple is from it's from an Advent by Hilltop Katie is what her Instagram name is. Hilltop Cloud is her company. She dyes beautiful fiber. And the light variegated is a merino I had left over from my jaunty shawl that I knit up a while back. So yeah, definitely recommend that, both pattern and yarn, of course, and fiber for spinning. So that was fun. So that's what I have to show you for finished objects that have to do with knitting. I'll save the hand spun for later because not everybody's interested in that. So let's move on to works in progress. The first one I'll show you, I started a while ago, but I haven't knit on it for the past little while because I've been on a summer t-shirt spree, I guess. This is also a bandana by Beth McDonald Stone. This one is called Circle to a Line. And basically, this is going to fill up the whole kind of inner circle or inner part, and this border is going to be around the whole bandana. Now this I'm knitting from, this is some yarn I got from Bramble Ridge. It's a 2-ply in a very nice brownie charcoal kind of color. It was a yarn that I believe she was just trying out the base and hadn't really decided whether she was going to continue with it or not. So I'm not sure if she carries it, but I had that one skein, so I thought that this would be a good time to use it. And this is some hand spun. And it has light tweedy effects in it. So I thought those would go really well with the dark color. I think it's working out. I'm really enjoying knitting, mosaic knitting. I bought the pattern for the Cygnus Shawl. Who's that by? Amy Christophers. I bought that as well. It's a large shawl. So I'm really getting on a kick here with the mosaic knitting. I was watching Table 10 podcast, and they're doing a buddy knit, and I believe both Renee and Rachel from the podcast have used one commercial yarn and have hand spun their contrast yarn. And that's what inspired me, or actually that's where I heard about the pattern. So I'm hoping to cast that on at some point, but I want to get this finished first. What do you think about mosaic knitting? Have you done any? I know the pressed flowers patterns have been very popular. They're also mosaic knitting. I'm pretty sure there's lots and lots of nice patterns with mosaic knitting. Just do a search. Maybe I've inspired you. During the summer, I always like to have a pair of socks to take around with me and knit. Unfortunately, the socks that I'm knitting on now, I can't really take around with me and knit because the pattern is quite involved, shall we say. I just fell for that Leopard Sock pattern by Summerlee. It's just so fun. And I picked really subtle colors to do it in. Isn't that fun? Haven't done the afterthought heel yet, but so I've got that one almost finished except for the heel, and this is where I'm at on the second one. I've put in the spot for the afterthought heel, and I'm working on the foot, and I'm knitting these in Filcolana Ayurveda Classic. This color is 252, and this one is 200. And just remind you, since I'm talking about Ayurveda, I still have some Ayurveda on my online shop at reduced price. So if you find something there you like, you might want to make a purchase. I'm knitting the large they're going to be a gift. And they're not going to be unnoticed. Talk about bright socks. I think socks are a place where you can kind of go out of your comfort zone and show a little color every once in a while. Don't you? We have a friend that's going to be turning 70 soon, and I thought I'd knit her a shawl. They have a cabin in the mountains. Excuse me, I just have to reach for my yarn. Oops, not in my, I mean my knitting. They have a cabin up in the mountains, and I thought she would enjoy a nice cozy woolen shawl to snuggle up in when it's chilly. So this is, I'm drafting it. It's just out of my head, in my own imagination. It's going to be a 2-colored shawl. I have this much left before I switch to the next color, and it's just knit stitches, garter stitch, increase on one side, every other row. I'm using a 3mm Chagyu needle, and the next color I'm going to use, oh, this is hand spun. I don't think I said that. This is hand spun. It's fiber from John Arbin Textiles, and I believe this is called Of My Hand. It's a few years ago since I spun this up, so I'm not sure. But I think that's what it is. And this is what I'm gonna use for the second color. It is merino, and it's actually 2 singles that one slightly mauve pink single and one blue single that I just spun the singles and then plied them together to do a barber pole, kind of blue and purple. And I'm hoping that will work nicely with that one. We'll see. If not, then I'll have to find something else. But I've got a couple of weeks until her birthday, so I'm hoping I'll be able to get it finished. And this is also hand spun. Like I said, I've been on a summer tea spree. I had some Isager Trio in stash, and I thought, oh, I can finally get to knit that up. And again, inspired by the sisters in Table 10 podcast, I purchased the Prospect Tea pattern by Tori Yu, and I'm knitting that, holding the yarn double. And this is actually my take-along project, because this I can do without having to look at a chart. So it's top down, and it's got a fun kind of structured, textured pattern. That's the front, that's the back. you start in the back and then you pick up for the stitches in the front and do some short row shaping and knit down until you've got enough to join for knitting in the round. And now it's just knit and pattern until it's long enough, and then finish the sleeves and the collar. So maybe I'll have this finished next time. Knitting with the trio is definitely a little stiffer than knitting with all of these lovely hand spun and woolen and everything. It's stretchy and has some give. Lina and Tin Lina as well. They don't have much give, so it's a little bit more work to knit with than a lot of other fibers. But it hasn't really been a problem for me, so I'm happy about that. I know quite a few people really have hand fatigue with knitting with plant fibers, so I'm very happy that I'm not one of them. I do think I mentioned the project hanging behind me here last episode. I hadn't gotten that far on it as I have now, but I wanted to ask for some help or advice or your thoughts. I had 400 grams of carded bats by Ulvei, which I split into their gradient and spun up end to end, so it was from light to dark. And initially I wanted to make a skirt. Then I started calculating that I've got enough yarn here for more than a skirt. So I went ahead and I started making the skirt. And then I thought at some point I'm going to have to start at the other end and work down from the top if I'm going to make a dress or a skirt and top. So that's what I did. And I'll get up and show it to you. I'm going to use the chair as an assistant here. I hope you can see. This is the skirt. Now, I stopped knitting here, and then I started knitting from the top here to work down, which means that I either have to do something to get these two pieces together to make a dress, or I have to take back some of this yarn, make this a little longer, and make it a top and a skirt. So, what do you think? I'll show you length on me. It's about just past my knees. My question is, if any of you have any experience with something like this, what I was thinking was tinking back a little bit and reducing my stitch count here to meet the stitch count here, holding them together and doing a 3 needle bind off, giving me a supported line here, because this t-shirt fits about here, so it would be where you would have like a natural kind of if you were doing a two-tone dress or something, it's kind of the, is it called the emerald design or something? But you know, just under the bust where it's natural to switch colors. I'm thinking if I just graft them together, and that might not be a sustainable join. And if I do the 3-needle bind off, it'll look like a tiny little braid or bead right around the dress. What do you think? Let me know in the comments and I'll let you know what I decide next time. But isn't the yarn pretty? I just loved it. The colors are so nice. I think I can do it. Sorry, she saw something. Oops, all tangled. And there's the dark to the light. And this is I've just did a gauge swatch and measured out how wide I wanted it and just started knitting a chevron pattern. So this is my own design or my own idea or whatever you want. And the top, the increases I've used a pattern words a pattern by Pia Trance called the crossover top, just to guide like the top of the t-shirt, and the rest is just mine. So let me know what you think. It's nice to get some input, some other ideas on things like this sometimes, not just go off on a tangent and not really, hey, you want to say hi? Not really know exactly how to finish it, kind of. Do you ever do that? Start something and think you've got the best idea in the world, and then suddenly it just stops and you wonder how you're going to continue. Well, anyway, I'd appreciate any guidelines or assistance you might have. Oh, I forgot to mention, if you want to find me on any other platforms than YouTube, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook as Spinnekroken. I also have an Instagram account called Michelle's Fibre Studio. It's very fiber spinning, knitting related. So if that's not for you, then fine. But if you're curious, go and check that out as well. I hope you've enjoyed taking a look at what I've been doing and what I'm working on and what I'm hoping to get working on at some point. I'll link patterns and everything in the comments below the video. And I'm going to go over to spinning now. So if that's not your cup of tea, then thank you for spending time with me up until now. And I hope you're making something you love and having a nice Wednesday. And if you are interested in spinning, stay tuned, because that's what's coming up. I mentioned that I was spinning on some fiber from Hedgehog Fibers, and I thought I'd just initially tell you a little bit more about what I'm spinning on while we're talking. and then we can take a look at what I've got finished, and maybe some plans. Are you gonna join Tour de Fleece? Or do you even know what it is? Hope so. We'll get talking about that as well. Anyway, back to what I'm spinning on. This is a blend I've never tried before. It is 50% Romney, 25% Rose, and 25% Kid Mohair. And it is absolutely gorgeous and so easy to spin. Because it's mohair, I'm pretty sure it's going to bloom quite a bit, and I'm hoping to end up with a fingering sport weight 2-ply. So I'm spinning it with very high twist on the singles to a lace weight, and when I apply it, I'm going to apply it with quite a high twist as well to ensure that it doesn't just go poof and turn into worsted or something. And here it is. Isn't that pretty? Lots of oranges and purples and a little bit of green. And you can really see the mohair, like the streaks of mohair in there. Or maybe that's the rose. No, I'm sure it's the mohair. What I'm doing while, you know, there's so many different ways to split your fiber or to not split your fiber when you have hand-dyed fiber. You can see how thin my supply is that I'm spinning. I wanted to just break off lengths and split them into finger width or pencil width strips and spin totally randomly. So that's what I'm doing, and this is the first bobbin finished. Isn't that pretty? Now you can see how thin that is. You can see it against my watch. So this is 125 grams. These fiber bags are 125 grams. So that's almost, I've maybe a third through the second bag, so I should be finished this in a day or two. Looking forward to seeing how it blooms when it washes. That's always the exciting part. Talking about blooms when it's washed. Look at this. I wish I had touch of vision. It is so squishy. Look how squishy it is. This is 300 grams of extra fine merino dyed by Ulvai in 3 different braids. So what I did here is something I've never done before. You can see some of the variation in the color. I can see if I can find a picture of the braids. I wanted to try a combination spin. I've heard so much about combination spins, and had never really done one, as far as I know. Might have done one on accident. And what I decided to do was take these 3 braids. Oops. Now the top one is kind of a dark plum color, and the bottom 2 are lighter colors. The one on that one there is more of a peach, and that one there is more of a pink and purple. So the one that's more of a pink and purple, I split that in half, and then I held that together with the darker one and the peachier one. So I held the 2 fiber sources together and spun them, and I'll show you a picture of bobbins when they were finished, if I have that. No, I guess I don't have that picture. Oh well. Anyway, I spun those out and applied them together on my EEW 6.1 electric wheel, and ended up with a, I believe it was a fingering weight. No, it was a lace weight. Lace weight 2-ply before washing. Soaked my yarn, let it dry, and it plumped up to a beautiful fingering weight. So this, I'm hoping, will be a nice t-shirt. I just love it when it, you know, I've been spinning for over 20 years, and I'm still amazed that we are actually able to do this, to take something that has grown on an animal and turn it into these beautiful products. Anyway. And as I mentioned, what I'm spinning on is part of a 3 club month that I got from Hedgehog Fibers, and this is the first one I spun out of that 3-month club. This is 18.5 micron merino, 75%, and Kashgora, 25%. And these I spun up on my spindles. So there's 2-ply, and they are woolen spun. And very squishy. It's going to be very warm. And this is more of a sport weight. So this is a little bit thicker, a little bit airier. But look at all the lovely colors in there. The colors are similar to what I'm spinning on now, with the little pops of orange and coral and yellow, but the fiber is definitely completely different, and the yarn as well. So there's that. have the second, just have to check the label. Yeah, this is also from Hedgehog Fibers. It's 75% BFL and 25% bamboo. So this is gonna really be a nice, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna make a shawl out of this. The bamboo gives it lots of drape, and it's kind of a drier feel to it. I was thinking this might work well as the contrast color in the Cygnus Shawl that I mentioned earlier, but we'll see. I haven't measured the meterage on this yet, so I'm not sure exactly how many meters I have, but this is also a sport weight. This one I spun on my electric eel wheel. So yeah, there we go. And the last yarn I'm going to show you that I finished is this. This took a while. I believe this has turned out to just over 700 grams of yarn. It's 3-ply and it is woolly wool. It is a little bit more rustic than these very soft yarns. It is fiber from John Arbon Textiles. I spun singles to lace weight and plied 3 together, and I have a DK weight, I'm pretty sure. So I have enough for a sweater cardigan. I'm hoping to make a cabled cardigan of some kind. So if you have any suggestions for patterns, I'm open. The fiber is their Devon Naturals, and this fiber is from Gertrude. I knit up a swatch, and that's what I based my decision on, whether to make a 2-ply or a 3-ply, and I ended with a 3-ply. I think that's going to make a nicer garment. So I have 5 skeins. Isn't that pretty? And I've actually placed my first wholesale order with John Arbon Textiles. So I am expecting some fiber to come sometime July. And when it does, I will definitely show it to you, and I'll put it on the website as soon as I can. So if you're a spinner and you're looking for some fiber that you might not have tried earlier, then stay tuned, because that's going to be coming on the web shop, on the online shop. So, that was quite a bit. I think this is one of my longer episodes. I hope you're still there. What did you think? Too much spinning to show? Not enough? Tour de Fleece is basically, while the Tour de France competitors are biking, spinners all over the world spin. There are lots of teams, there's lots of different motivational types of initiatives and stuff. And basically, you just spin every day that they bike, and you rest if you need to or want to when they rest. And it is incredible how many people actually take part. This will be the 3rd year that I'm joining the same team. Melly Knits hosts a team called Stash Dashers, where the idea is to stash down. So I believe you can call it a rule. The only rule, if you want to call it a rule, is that you can only spin something from your stash. So if you want to spin something new, then you better buy it before Saturday. And it's actually turned into quite the group. She has lots of posts on Instagram. She's on YouTube, and it's a lot of organizational tasks that she does, but it's lots of fun. You just get to focus on spinning, chat with other spinners. Yeah, so if you're interested, check it out. I know that there is a team Norway as well. I participated in their event, which was similar. They had an event during the Olympics, so I participated in that. The Team Norway is on Facebook, and participation is through Ravelry. So if you go on Ravelry and search for Team Norway, you'll find the information you need there. What do you think? Gonna join? Not last year, but the year before, was the first year I was part of the Stash Dashers. And that was when I was learning to spin on support spindles. So I dedicated spinning time during Tour de Fleece to learning how to spin with my support spindles, and it was perfect because I spun every day, and yes, to begin with, it was difficult because it's a different technique. You have to have a different type of coordination to actually spin with a support spindle. But it was a great motivational activity, because when Tour de Fleece was over, after 3 weeks, I had no trouble spinning with a support spindle. It worked perfectly. So give it a thought. If you have any goals that you want to set for yourself, then Tour de Fleece might just be what you need to get you to where you want to be. Well, I think that's about it. I'll either post on Instagram about what I'm planning to spin during Tour de Fleece this year, or maybe I'll make a short video and show you the fiber that I'm gonna be focusing on. We'll see. Haven't decided yet. So. Well, I think that's it for now. Hope you liked joining me in my backyard, and I hope you're making something that you're enjoying. And if you're on holidays, I hope you're enjoying them. Take care until next time. Happy knitting.